Hello and welcome back to part 3 of our compost toilet build. In this episode we're going to be doing the top. That's the shelf, the lid, the toilet seat here, the hinges on the door. So you've got the toilet seat, urine separator, this bit lifts up and you can see how it all works there. Keep watching to find out how. More than thick enough. I've used 18mm ply on the other ones I made, but I've got a little bit of worktop left over from the desk we've dismantled, so I'm going to use that instead. What we'll do is we'll cut a piece that's square enough for here, and what you really want for this is it's overhang by sort of 20mm at the front, just so that you've got something to grab onto when you want to lift the lid up. So this will be in 3 parts really. So we'll make the big one first of all. And so there'll be a piece that goes here from halfway across this top beam here, and it will rest onto that and go up this edge here. That'll be a solid fixed in place piece, of which I'm going to cut a groove into for that copper bucket you saw there for the sawdust. So we'll have one solid piece here, and on this piece we want a lid that lifts up. So what we have to do is cut a strip off the back of it here, and that will... but you want the toilet seat to still rest onto that beam. So I'll cut a 30mm bit off the back. These are 45mm thick, these beams. So I've got a 30mm strip off the back. And that'll just then make it perfectly the right size to have your hinge on it, lift it up, and then bring it down again for for your lifting lid so you can clean it, etc., and change your buckets and so on. As you can see here, I've picked up the worktop from the house, and I've also brought out the track saw here, track saw rail and clamps, and I've also marked out the first 2 cuts I'm going to do on here, and then the third one across the back here. The best way by far of getting a straight line, a guaranteed straight line, is to use a track saw. So all I'm going to do here is line up my track with my first line here, and I'm trying to clamp it on to one end like this. Right, so always have to hang the end of it slightly further off the road. Even though this is a plunge saw, hang it slightly off the end of it to give you somewhere to mount the saw to, and then when you make your first cut it will go along the edge. And timber, there we go, there's the first bit cut off. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side now. Turn the workpiece round so it's how I need to cut it. Well, that climbed me up on the table. These bits of worktop are incredibly heavy. Really, really heavy. So now I need to cut a length off the back of it. Woo, it worked, well done. Now this should, if I've done this right, be the right dimensions to end and overhang here by 2 centimetres. So let's have a look at it. And this doesn't get any lighter even though I've cut it down. Right, so we're nicely on here. We've nicely got our lip here. By the look of this, we're just a couple of mils off the back line. Right, yeah, I'm happy with that. So that is the foundation of our toilet seat and the top of it. Don't worry about these marks because these are all going to be painted over anyway. So under here we've got a bar that will act as a support for the seat. So I'm going to cut another line on this end to go halfway across this bar. Right, this is the point now where we need to make sure we know what the front and back is, which side which. So I'm going to put some pencil marks on here. I'm going to put a TS on here for toilet seats, and I'm going to put left hand side here just for the left, and then at the back here we're going to have to do another cut off. Let me see if you can see there. So at the back of this we'll have to do another line in a moment, and that line will act as a thing to hinge onto when it's fixed onto the framework. And again on the last bit. That's caused by the fact that it's collapsing on that last bit here. Just see if I can just support this on this corner. That was much better. I know I said that was the best way of getting a straight line, and it is if you do it properly. I'll put that there. And just place this on top now carefully. Try not to displace the other bits on there. Right, so this is a mock-up of what I've just done. You can see here that there's a gap on here is pretty nice. The gap down the back here is less so. But I've got a bit of a bodge here where the saw jammed on one of those cuts I was doing. So one of the things when you're doing these jobs, it wants to look straight, whether it is straight or not. Whether it is good or not, it wants to look okay. So it's worth spending time on the aesthetics there. What I'm going to do is just screw this in to here. So I'm going to put some screws in around this framework here and just fix this one piece in. One of my favourite screws that I use, and I've got thousands of these screws now of different sizes, are these Forge Faster ones. I think they're from Tool Station. They're really, really good screws. These ones are weather resistant screws. They come with a Torx head, which is a hex head, which you can't see from there, but and I find them they're really good and easy to put into the wood. So let's just hope now. I've said that this is going to bear fruition. It's going to Well, I think you can agree that our compost toilet is really taking shape. No, it's not bad for a day's work so far. I think we'll probably get the actual bulk of it done today. And that is fixed on. It's not going to come off ever. That's all we can ask for, really. So the next thing is just to align our toilet seat at the front here. And what we want is for our back piece to look straight with the rest of the toilet. Right, so the next stage in this build, I've fitted these pieces, is to sort our toilet seat out and our urine separator. Now, the urine separator is a crucial part of a composting toilet. This is a very simple one by Free Range Designs. Free Range Designs are a brilliant company, by the way. Highly recommend them. They do some great products and services for off-grid living, etc. So the urine separator, it basically funnels the urine away from the poo in the toilet. A, it stops it from smelling. B, the poo is biodegradable, and the urine can funnel into the ground somewhere or into a container. But it's an absolutely essential part of a compost toilet. Now, the urine separator basically goes underneath the seat, and so the urine has to go into there, and the poo goes down the back of it into a bucket. I'll try and show you a rough mock-up. So I'm going to visually line it up there, and I'm going to just draw a circle around the middle of this. I'm just drawing a circle around the middle of this. I've got spectators now in this. So that's a very poor circle there. But what we have here is one I made earlier. It's a template. It's a template that allows the urine separator to fit into it snugly. And so all I have to do is place this, by not knocking everything else off here, place this, I'll just leave it, over the top of here. So what I do then is get my template and line it up around my circle that I made there, or the pattern of the bowl there. So it's roughly similar. It's a pretty rough curve on here. It doesn't matter particularly for the purpose, but I'm going to do around the same thing again. Get the template out of the way, and hopefully on top of here you can just see my child walking in the background as well. You can just see here the template I made. Right, so I've just moved our workpiece onto a temporary work area here. You can probably see I've blocked it up on 2x2s here, just so I can use a jigsaw on this space. It makes a nice stable workspace. And what I need to do is cut around this line. And you might be able to see on here, I've got two lines. I've got a big dark line around the outside and a smaller thinner line on the inside. This small inner line is the actual toilet seat, and the outer line is the actual line I'm going to cut. And I want to deliberately cut an inch or so away from my from the toilet seat, just so when you've got feces and stuff falling, it doesn't catch on your woodwork. I found this works pretty well. It's a good little solution to the problem, and it also allows the urine separator then to come in the front of it. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going to drill a hole. I've got a little spade bit here. I'm going to draw a hole for the jigsaw piece to get into. So I'm just going to line this up roughly with the edge of the line. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, just when I'm coming back the other way. Right, so the next thing now is I want to jigsaw this out. So I'm going to put jigsaw on full power. It's on a good torque setting. Hopefully it'll be alright for this. The first time I've used this jigsaw for a proper piece of work so far, so fingers crossed it does the job for me. Well, this jigsaw made absolutely mincemeat of going through this wood. Okay, it doesn't matter if this isn't a perfect 100% symmetrical oval shape. The main thing is that our urine separator can fit in there. So the urine separator wants to sit at the front of this design. See a little gap there, I've cut it slightly wide. It doesn't matter at all. And then our toilet seat will then fit over the top of this like that. So that will go approximately like that. And this urine separator tray will screw in the four corners there. I'm just going to measure now for these holes for this. So what I'm doing here is just trying to line these two very annoying things up so they're right in the middle. Just so I can make some holes for them. And I want to be quite near to the back of this edge here, just because obviously it's going to hinge up, and that's where it needs to be quite close to the back of there. So I'm just going to make a mark. Alright, so I've got my two marks now where the holes are going to go, where the toilet seat prongs are going to go through. And I'm just going to drill them in with the same drill bit I used earlier on to get the thing. Let's get going on that. Give that a bit of a sand in a little while. Right, I'm just going to pop this back for a moment on these boxes. Making sure that one's central. Just to give me a bit of extra height while I'm just testing these things out. So that wants to go on the front here like this. Then these two annoying little things go through the holes. That's it. In there. And when this is all set up properly, so you can see here that this nicely covers the urine separator. No issues there. This toilet seat will obviously be fixed on top like that afterwards, or before at this point, and that will raise up like that. So that's the basics of our compost toilet put together. I do need to paint this first before I can get on to the next level, and then I'll put it all together. So basically we've basically made our compost toilet there. Well, same video, different day. I've had to wait a few days between the last bit you saw. We've had some rain, I've had some other work to do in the meantime at the glamping site. As you can see here, everything's covered up to protect it from the rain. I've also painted it, so we're just going to uncover all this now. I want to make sure I don't get water all over myself. Right, so as you can see, I've been painting this. Unfortunately it's got a bit dirty now, but that'll clean off without a problem at all. One for the same colour as the other one. And I haven't fixed anything on yet. It's all ready to be fixed together today. These are the bits that were painted. So the plan is today to... I was looking for this the other day. I wondered where that had gone. I needed it for a different project. Hidden away in the compost bins here. So we're going to be fitting our urine separator on here. Fitting the toilet seats like such on there. And we're going to be fitting our door as well on here. Now, if you remember from the other day, there goes the cockerel again. If you remember from the other day, as I said, I wanted to have this door raised slightly off the ground, so when it's opening and shutting, it's not catching on the floor, or any little bits that happen to be on the floor. So I've got a couple of pieces of scrap wood here, probably about 15 mils worth altogether. It does put the door slightly out of alignment with the rest of the wood, but it's the way I find it works best on here. I've got these hinges to attach to it here. They're what I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to pop this door off here and just place it on top of here. We'll get this ready. I'm going to just line this up on the edge here, so it's on the edge and it's on 2 bits of wood. So I'm just going to pop that on the edge of that like that. And I'm going to get 1 screw in each end of this on this hinge, and this one the same way around, hopefully. So I'm going to put that across there on this other end of the door. Just fold it over so it's on half like that. That makes it so we get a square edge on the door when we fold the hinge down like this. Hopefully you can see this. And just like it. So I'm just folding the hinge over the edge of the door like this. You can see here where this wood curves up and down. I'm trying to get in the thicker pieces of wood. So I'm going to pop that on there. I've got some 20mm screws here for the purpose. It would have been better if they were black screws, but they're not, so that's what it is. And the right screwdriver bit for it. These are 2. I'm just going to pop the screw in here and here. These could be longer screws for this purpose, but it doesn't need to be for this particular door. Put that one in there like that. It's not gripping very well, these ones, so hopefully these screws will be alright for this piece of wood, but it's very soft wood, these cladding bits, because it's not quite going into the beam behind it. I'm trying to use fairly shallow screws for it. Same thing with that one. Get it onto the thicker bits of wood, just fold it over the edge like that, and it's falling off this one, so hold that screw in there like such. I don't want to shred the thread in the wood, so I'm just doing it fairly, it's going in, but I'm not trying to over tighten it. Okay, that's in there like such. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just fix this door to the framework here. I've got these bits of wood down here to try and prop it up, and that's just keep giving me my space that I need. Make sure it's lined up with that edge over there, which I'm going to just do by feel on there, and just open those hinges out like such to there. What we really want is here for this line to be straight coming down here. So I'm going to get a screw in and then I'll line it up at the bottom with the others. I'll pop this screw in the hole here and just tighten that like such. And for this bottom one, you can see this line down here isn't quite straight, so I'm going to try and adjust it so that it is. I can just push it then with my hand that way slightly. Alright, so that's got that more or less visually straight down that side. I think these screws I'm using are a bit on the short side really. I might have to look at doing a longer screws in them. And you can see here I'm missing out the middle one because the middle one goes over the join. I don't want to screw in the middle one. It's not a heavy door, so it doesn't matter for that purpose. The screws don't feel particularly tight, which is not ideal. So I'll take these spacers out, bring this open, make sure it's working. Well, the observant among you may realise I've just changed these hinges. I found these in a box left over from a project from last year, and now I can open and shut the door, no squeaking, no problems. I decided to do that rather than what I was doing before because I don't want it wearing and tearing on the wood and straining every time we do it. I've also got two more for the top here. I've lined this up the best I can. My cut isn't quite straight down there because my saw jammed, if you remember. So I'm going to shove these other hinges on the back of here. And these are actually better hinges for the purpose anyway. So let's just try this now. Right, that's gone on nicely. Not 100% straight. Doesn't matter the purpose. What matters is this opens and shuts and we can get in and out of there. For the next part of this, we're going to fit this urine separator. That has to go on before the toilet seat, and that's going to go on like here. My screws are just around the back there if I can get past all these chickens and scrap wood. Seems the chickens always want to be around while I'm doing the woodwork and when I'm recording a video. So for these ones I bought these little flat screws here, flat head screws, and you can see on the top of this I've pre-drilled 4 holes in this in each corner, like such, and that's just going to hold it down. Obviously this is going to get cleaned a fair bit. I've got some stainless steel screws for this job, and all we have to do is screw it back in like such. So that's nice and simply in there, nice and securely fixed. Right, so the next thing, we'll be getting our toilet seat on. This toilet seat is particularly annoying, it's in 2 bits. Doesn't matter, we'll get over that. Various different components for this. So in this particular case, this is the brackets for the toilets. Not the bracket, yeah, sorry, these are the hinges for the toilets. Got to fit the rubber thing on the top of there. It helps it be nice and secure on the top of it. When the time comes, let's do that one and that one. And the same thing on the bottom of this. Obviously each toilet seat you get comes with a slightly different design. slightly different fixings, but obviously the widths and stuff are generally standard. Right, this is a fiddly bit of this one. But because of the way these ones fit on, this fits on the inside of it. Just going to turn this upside down and line it up and slide this in from the bottom there and slide it in from the bottom there. And you have to be a little bit like an octopus while you're doing this. I've lined up these holes, you probably can't see them in the back of this, but I've lined up these with the centre little dots on here so they're the same distance apart. And obviously you've got a little bit of movement in these. These can go in various positions. So I'm going to try and hold it up to my centre dot and then pop it through the holes at the back of here. Like such. And straighten it up. So in my case, I want this to be aligned so it looks straight with my urine separator. So when you open it up, it's nice and central over there as well. It just helps everyone get the business in the right place. So I'm going to lift this lid up, try and hold everything in place while I can. Little washer that came with this. Again, it's a bit like an octopus when you're doing this one. And it comes with these little screw things you just put on the bottom to keep everything in place. I'll tighten that up properly in a minute. So put the other washer on the other one. And tighten that up. I'm only doing it very loose here because I'm standing above it. And the urine separator here, it's got plenty of clearance for the wood, so that's good. So I'll make sure it's nice and straight on there. And then because of the way this is designed, we can get to this from the back and we can tighten up those screws at the back. Well, that completes the construction of our compost toilet. I've screwed on the lid at the back. Lid comes up nicely here. This lid will generally always stay down because you have to sit down to do a wee. Some people screw these in as well just to make sure people can't pull it up. I don't bother with that, so I want to be able to clean underneath it as well. But this will stay down all the time. Underneath it here, I'll just bring you up a bit. You can see the urine separator fixed on here. Just under that there is a bucket that catches your business in there. And then just if we open our door here, you can see here that I've fixed this tube to the bottom of this urine separator. This is a 40mm tube that fits to the bottom of here. If you've got a permanent fixing in here and you can have it pop in something else, you can have it going into a bucket. I have it going into a tube because I need to be able to get in and out of it, change it, and we want it draining outside rather than into a collection device. This is another reason why I built the front door on it, because when we're on the camping site and we're cleaning these, I can pull that off it, lift this all the way up, clean all around this here, clean all under here, get to it all, pop it all back down again, and then just put our tube back on there. And then we can close it all the way there, and I'll put a little catch on this later on. But that basically completes our construction of a compost toilet. I hope you enjoyed the video today. It's quite a long one. I hope you can find it useful and your own off-grid projects. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help if you subscribe to us and watching videos. We're a new channel, and so yeah, just come and check us out and look at what other videos are coming up as well. So yeah, thanks very much, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.